With so many Insta360 selfie sticks out there, how do you know which one to buy? In this video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of each, and at the end I'll share my top 3 picks so you don't waste your money. So this is the 2-in-1 folding selfie stick. It's very compact when closed at 16 centimeters and it extends to 58 centimeters. So this isn't huge, but you'll still be able to get the majority of your standard walking style shots. And you can always add a bit of reach by extending your arm. And for convenience, for storage, you can leave your camera attached as it folds in half. And you could then fit this in your coat pocket or your bag without having to remove the stick. And there's also a space here for a mini remote control. And there's also a tripod integrated into the base under here. And this is fine for flat, smooth surfaces, but I would only use this at its shortest length. If you extend it and use the tripod, it's just way too unstable. And because it has this built-in tripod, it means that there's no 1/4-inch thread underneath on the base, so you can't add a bigger tripod if you wanted to. It's important that this next one gets included because it's another option for your camera, but it's not a selfie stick. This is just a grip handle for your camera, so you can use it with your camera and it's fine for POV shots or selfie shots, but you can't get those cool floating camera shots in the same way, because the camera is too close and it just looks weird. This is an excellent grip for your camera though, especially if you want something that's small and discreet, and if you want to keep your camera charged as well. This has a battery built into the handle, so you can power your camera just by plugging in this USB-C to USB-C cable. And it includes a removable remote control on the handle. There's also an integrated tripod, but this is way too small and unstable. There is a 1/4-inch thread underneath though, so you can attach this to a bigger tripod if you wanted to. Overall, this has limited use, but it may be right for some people depending on what you're filming. If you want a selfie stick that powers your camera, you can still buy this stick though, which is the power selfie stick. This isn't sold by Insta360 anymore, but you can still buy this on Amazon. It's a selfie stick and power bank all in one, and it works with the X5 and other 360 cameras. You have 2 USB-C outputs at the top here. You plug in a cable and then you can charge your camera. And the great thing is that you can also start and stop recording using the built-in button that's built into the handle. This stick is pretty bulky though, even when closed, and it's a lot thicker and longer than most standard selfie sticks. It does extend to 100 centimeters though, so you can easily get those floating camera style shots. You do have to be careful to keep this charge cable within the stitching area though, otherwise it will show up in your shot. And there's also a 1/4-inch thread underneath, so you can mount this to a tripod. This stick isn't for everyone, but if you want a selfie stick with the ability to power your camera, then this is the one to get. So this is referred to as a tripod, a selfie stick and a magic arm all in one. It's a really versatile and compact camera accessory, and I absolutely love it, but it's no good for 360 cameras. It's much better for a standard action camera like a GoPro or the Ace Pro 2 or Action 5 Pro. It does extend and can be used as a selfie stick, but there are so many moving parts and elbow joints and bits sticking out that this would easily show up in your shot, and it would be virtually impossible to get it straight every time. This is the most common selfie stick out of all of the ones we're going to talk about, and it's a great compromise between the smallest and the largest selfie sticks. It's narrow and lightweight, and in its closed position it's only 23 centimeters, but when opened it extends to 114 centimeters. And all of Insta360 selfie sticks have this friction design, so you can pull them out and they just hold in place at any length. And this stick is small enough to easily fit in a small bag, but long enough to get those awesome floating camera style shots. And there's a 1/4-inch thread underneath, so you can easily attach this to a mount or to a tripod. And this is the most budget friendly stick as well, which is why it's probably the most popular. This one is the Action selfie stick, and this is more expensive than the standard stick that we just looked at, but it's actually longer when it's closed and it's shorter when it's extended to its maximum length. So why would you buy this stick? Well, this is carbon fiber for starters, and everyone loves carbon fiber, but more importantly, this makes it 50% stronger than a standard stick, apparently. And it also has anti-sand filters, which stops dirt and sand getting into the selfie stick mechanism. I do love how lightweight this stick feels, and I do love carbon fiber, but I don't shoot enough action to be able to give you a definitive answer as to whether this is stronger than a standard stick and whether it's worth buying this because of its strength. But if you do shoot a lot of action, then it's probably worth considering this one if it's meant to be tougher. And again, it also has a 1/4 inch thread underneath if you want to attach it to a tripod. So this next one is an interesting one. It's called the Throw Pod, and it has one very cool feature. You extend the selfie stick out and then you tap this bit on the floor and the tripod pings out the bottom. Okay, but don't go rushing out to buy this, because beyond that gimmick, this is pretty useless. I mean, to be honest, it's not sold as a selfie stick. I mean, this would be huge to hold. This handle is massive. It's like 34 centimeters long and 3.5 centimeters wide. So it's more of a monopod for indoor use. But wait though, it's not, because it only extends to 114 centimeters. Well, that won't even get to chest height, and certainly nowhere near head height. So I don't know who designed this and who tested it, and I don't even know who this is aimed at. This thing is huge, but it's too small at the same time, and it's overpriced and pretty pointless in my opinion. So this is the new bullet time selfie stick, and this is very niche. You would only buy this if you want a selfie stick and you do a lot of bullet time shots. And if that is you, then this stick is well worth considering. So it can be used as a standard selfie stick. It is quite big when closed at around 35 centimeters, so it's not very portable, but it does extend to a fair size of 126 centimeters, so you can easily get all the shots you want effortlessly. And it has a 1/4 inch thread underneath, so you can mount this to a tripod. And it's also a lot heavier than most standard selfie sticks, but that's because of the unique feature hidden inside the handle. Undo this collar and then you have an elbow joint, so you can bend the stick and create a handle to get your bullet time shots. So it's a really clever design. So this is the extended selfie stick, and this stick isn't designed as your regular everyday selfie stick because it would just be too big. It's a super long 3-meter stick that allows you to get those really high angle shots or those really big sweeping shots, and also allows you to get to those areas that you couldn't reach with a standard stick. It's quite bulky when closed at a length of around 36 centimeters with a 3.5 centimeter diameter handle, but you can still fit this into a backpack easily enough. It does have a 1/4 inch thread underneath, but I wouldn't attach this to a tripod because there'd be way too much leverage and it would just rip the 1/4 inch thread straight out of the base. The handle of the stick does tend to show up as a black mark in some of your shots. You can reduce this by rotating or changing the camera position. The shots are so wide with this stick that for me it's not much of an issue, and I just love how creative you can get with this stick, and you really can get shots that you can't get any other way. So I started this video by saying that I was comparing Insta360 selfie sticks, but it wouldn't be right if I didn't add this one in, which is not Insta360, it's Best360, because this is the stick that I use pretty much every time I shoot. Now this stick won't be for everyone because the length when closed is 35 centimeters, and even though it's quite thin, 35 centimeters means that it's not pocket friendly, and it's much bigger than Insta360's standard selfie stick. But the reason that this is my favorite stick is because it extends from that 35 centimeters to a massive 150 centimeters. And it means for walking shots and those floating camera style shots that you can hold your hand casually down by your side and the camera is still way out in front of you. The extra length that this stick gives you will allow you to get some of those shots that you just couldn't get any other way. In terms of airport security, well, technically you are allowed to take selfie sticks on board in hand luggage, but it will be at the discretion of the person at security. And if it looks like that the selfie stick could pose a danger or an obstruction of some sort, then there's a good chance it will get confiscated. And the same would go for an event, a music concert, or a theme park. Don't assume that you'll be able to go in with your selfie stick. Out of all the selfie sticks mentioned, these 4 are the only ones that I'd risk taking on an airplane, just in case they got confiscated. Because the Best360 one is a little bit longer, then it may draw more attention than these 3, because these look more of a sort of standard or small compact size. All the others are either way too big or they're just more of an unusual shape or size. Like the power stick has got like a little hammer head on the end. The multi-mount could be seen as a weapon of some sort. So anything that's a bit more unusual looking may raise more questions. And remember that any power bank style products you have to go in your hand luggage. So I'd probably leave these two at home. I'd probably take the risk with this stick in a number of different venues just because it's not that expensive. So if it gets confiscated, you can easily replace it. So which stick would I choose if I had to choose one? Well, I would choose this one from Insta360, which is the standard selfie stick, because it's really cheap, it's really compact when closed, but when extended, it's long enough to get most of the shots that you'd want to get. When you shoot with 360 cameras a lot though, you will find yourself wanting different sticks for different locations or different events that you go to and different scenarios. So here are 3 more that I would choose if I had to give you my top 4 sticks. So at number 1, we've got the standard stick. And then my second stick would be the one that I use pretty much every day myself, which is the Best 360 stick, because I just love how long this stick goes. And for me, most of my filming is out in the forest, so it's not an inconvenience for me to carry a stick around that's this long. And then if I wanted to be ultra portable, ultra compact, pocket friendly, then I would go for the 2-in-1 folding selfie stick, because this is really versatile, it's very discreet, and it does fold up. You can easily put it in your bag, and the selfie stick by itself easily fits in your pocket. And then in 4th place, this is more of a want than a need, and that's the extended selfie stick. You won't be getting extended selfie stick shots all the time, but once you get a few of them, you'll realize how much fun that you can have with this stick and how creative you can get. Let me know which is your favorite selfie stick, and for more accessory tips for your X5, you want to watch this video next, and I'll see you over there.